We've made history time and time again.
I don't believe it!
We've been knocked down, only to get back up.
Oh my word!
But X Games wasn't born in an arena. This year, we're going back to where it all started. Because history can happen anywhere.
What's happening, everybody? Brandon Graham here, and you are witnessing our X Games 2021 official press conference. We're so hyped that you can watch this here with some of our favorite athletes, and we're especially excited that the event is going down July 14th through the 18th, ESPN, ABC, ESPN app, and of course, across all X Games social media channels. Enough of me talking. I know why you're here. You want to hear from our athletes, and we've got some special ones here with me. So without further ado, let me introduce to you who we've got here today. On the BMX side, Pat Casey joining us. He was lending his own backyard, the Dreamyard, for one of the host locations. We're excited about that. He's a two-time X Games medalist, and he's competing in more disciplines than anyone else at X Games here this summer. X Games 2021, I believe is what we're calling it. We move on to Elliot Sloan, the two-time defending Big Air gold medalist, 11 X Games medals. And I cannot wait to see Elliot put it down in skateboard vert and vert best trick. Moving on, his Slayground will be one of our X Games locations. He's a 7-time X Games medalist. Let's hear it for Axell Hodges. And finally, rounding out our group of athletes, freshly minted, 13 years old, making her second X Games appearance. It was her birthday yesterday. Let's give it a nice birthday applause for Miss Sky Brown.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Well, I know I'm excited, obviously, to be putting on this event because I think there was a period of time where we wondered, is this even going to happen with so much out of our control due to COVID and us trying to find the right venues? So for everyone to come together from California training facility to Axel and Pat, you guys volunteering your places, it's just amazing what we can do when we all get together. But for most of you, we haven't seen you on the X Games stage in nearly 2 years. So I'd love to just go around and Pat, I guess we'll start with you. I mean, what's it been like, just fewer events over the last 2 years, and just kind of get a pulse check on how excited you are to finally have X Games back again?
Yeah, it's actually kind of cool not having events. I mean, not that it's been cool, but it's been cool having a little bit of a break. But having X Games come back and then be in my yard and stuff, it's a dream come true. Absolutely insane. And I think it being in a yard, it's going to be one of the best X Games we've seen in a minute. Cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Let's move on to Axel. You're also putting one of your properties up for all of our Moto events. Obviously, you've been able to film a ton over the last couple of years since we've seen you, but you're at the cutting edge when it comes to progression of what's possible on a dirt bike at X Games. How are you preparing for this, and how are you feeling heading into X Games 21?
Yeah, with COVID and everything, it gave us time to kind of go out to my compound and build all the jumps that we need to just have a dope course. And then with X Games coming back into play, they came to us asking to want to do it. And I was like, yeah, everyone's probably pretty fired up. No one's been riding or having anything to ride for. So it gives us all motivation to go out there and go hit the big jumps and do big tricks. So I think, yeah, everyone's going to be fired up and it's going to be a good contest.
So you hosted an event at your property, right? You had the Highlands event with the backyard mega and vert ramps, which was really rad to see. And all of your YouTube edits, you're very busy filming constantly. But you're one of those guys also that really pushes the progression of big air skateboarding. Certainly, I'm excited to see you, singularly focused on a vert ramp because, you've always pulled double duty over the years at X Games. So I'm curious for now this X Games, you're really focused on that vert ramp. How has that changed your mindset as far as preparation for X Games?
Yeah, it's been a little weird just because I've been filming, like working on a new video part right now. So it's mostly been on like the Mega back here. So just like the last like 3 weeks, I just had to kind of switch gears. But I don't know, it's been fun to focus on vert again. But yeah, it's definitely a little weird going into an X Games knowing that there's like no audience and like just people are going to be hopefully watching online. So I don't know, just very thankful that there is something coming up. But yeah, it's weird not having an event. And like, you know, I've been competing for like, I don't know, over 10 years. Just like last 10 years I've been traveling, going to contests. So that was kind of a nice little break, but yeah, definitely excited to get back.
And Sky, for you, you know, obviously we haven't seen you at X Games since in Minneapolis in 2019 when you made your X Games debut, which was an amazing debut. That frontside 5, of course, everybody remembers. But for you, you've probably been the busiest out of this group. You've got the Olympics coming up as well. Congratulations on qualifying to compete on that stage, certainly, which is following X Games. But you still had to compete in a lot of events to get into that. So not too much change for you other than no X Games. So for you, it was like we got to see you at X Games on the world's biggest skateboarding stage. And then we didn't get to see it all last summer. And now you're back in the mix. How excited are you to get back to X Games?
I'm so excited. I really missed it. I mean, it was a super fun contest. I'm excited to skate with all the girls. I feel like it's gonna be really rad. It's gonna be awesome.
Well, I guess I said it off the top, Axel and Pat, you know, you guys were gracious enough to put your places up for the contest. I'm really curious of the genesis of all that. Like once X Games was greenlighting the event, remember our contract, we were done last summer with Minneapolis. So we were truly looking for a new home for our entire events. And, you know, COVID being what it was, it certainly was difficult for us in terms of processing, well, where can we go for a venue? So again, we can't thank you guys enough for hearing what we needed and coming through. But I'd love to know how that all came to be. Pat, we'll start with you. Obviously, you filmed a ton in your Dreamyard, but to actually put on the X Games, how did that conversation come?
I don't know. It was really crazy actually, because I would have never even thought about that, even as a kid or anything, and building the yard or any process of doing any of the filming or anything. I would have never thought X Games would be in the yard. But someone from Monster kind of just like hinted it to me, and then they came to me, and then it was like kind of all super quick once it started happening. And I don't know, it's just insane. It's really like, I can't even really process it still. Like, it's insane. And the whole experience, like during like the build out and everything, it's just been like so awesome. And I don't know, I'm looking forward to the event.
It looks like it's been a family affair too. I saw your son was swinging a hammer out there.
Yeah, my son just loves to get out there and work with everyone and learn it all. So, but yeah, pretty much like everyone, the whole BMX community, anyone that wants to come ride, you got to pick up a paintbrush and let's get busy because this has to get done. So it's been pretty cool.
Love it, man. We're taking it back to the roots. How about for you, Axel? Obviously, like we said, you've filmed a ton. You've won Real Moto before. It's a perfect backdrop for your edits. But in terms of putting on not just a freestyle event, X Games, and what that means and all the various moto disciplines, how did that conversation go about getting started at the Slayground?
Yeah, well, being out there with COVID and everything, with the events not happening, that means like the course builders had no work either, which is Matt McCall, who usually builds all the motocross courses and ramps. And he's just kind of been out there with me. And I got a film budget with Monster Energy, which they helped me film Slayground and help with all the building with that. And yeah, me and Matt are just kind of a team out there, and he's close with the X Games guys. They told him, and he kind of gave me a hint, like they wanted to, you know, get a contest going. And then, yeah, shortly after that, Monster approached me and said, yeah, this is a thing. And yeah, like Pat, it just happened fast. We started getting all the bulldozers out there and fixing what we need to fix, and got a sweet course now. Sweet.
I'm looking forward to that. Elliot, for you, it's interesting. As we said, no big air. So we're not doing any mega this year, but it has allowed you to sort of zero in back in on vert. I'm curious your take, and maybe Scott skate competitively on the ramp. It seems to me like there's been somewhat, because of COVID, a little bit of a vert's enjoying somewhat of a renaissance. And I don't know if it's just because people have access to certain people's vert ramps like Tony Hawk's and things like that, but it seems like a lot more skaters are riding vert again. And I think the history of vert over the last 20 years is pretty well documented as far as like the direction or the progression of it. I'm really excited for vert this year because I think it's allowed guys like yourselves to really like focus on it, where before it was like, I got vert, but then I got mega the next day. And it was like, how do you sort of, you know, divvy up your time? And now you can really just focus on vert and maybe even vert best trick, putting things down that maybe you wouldn't do in previous years.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely weird not having mega. You know, I've definitely always had to balance those two, and just like practicing both has always been a little hectic. So I don't know. It's nice to have that like just vert to focus on, especially it's like 10 minutes from my house. Yeah, I don't know.
Sky, I was thinking about you. You're so active on social, especially TikTok. And, you know, we're going to be streaming X Games on TikTok. So I'm wondering, are you going to like take time between runs and like do some TikToks of your own? Or like, how do you balance that out, especially on a contest like the X Games?
Yeah, I mean, I probably will do some TikToks and some stars on there. I love to keep, I just know I love to keep my fans posted, and yeah, I mean, I'm super excited. I think everyone's gonna love it. I think it's gonna be a really fun thing to watch.
You know, I was thinking about Sky, the fact we were talking right before we started about how busy you are. You've got so many things going on. When you're not skating, you're surfing. When you're not surfing, you're hanging out with your friends or your family. You have so much going on, obviously the X Games and then the Olympics. And I understand there's like a film crew following you for like a docu-series. So it's like, people are like, man, you know, is that going to burn her out? And I'm thinking, you just turned 13. It's like, if there was ever a time in your life that you would probably want to like document all this and experience all this, it would probably be right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been pretty busy, but it's kind of been nice. I mean, I'm enjoying it as well. I do have, you know, time to spend time with my friends and family, especially yesterday. You know, I took a few days off skating and that, and I've just been surfing and go-karting. I mean, yeah, and I don't know, it hasn't really ruined anything. It hasn't really ruined my schedule or anything. It's been okay. It's been nice.
It sounds like the best schedule ever, quite honestly. Back to Axel and Pat for a second. You guys are both competing in the very first ever X Games Moto X 110s, which I'm going to be calling with Mike Mason. And both Mason and I were on a call yesterday, and we're like, dude, do you know what that format's going to be like? And both of us were like, I have no idea. So for the uninitiated, Axel, Pat, I don't know, take your pick. Lead us through how this idea came about and like what this event's all about.
Well, 110s kind of since COVID hit, they're kind of the hot thing on the internet. Everyone's riding 110s and posting videos. So I guess the X Games just thought it was a cool idea to do a dirt contest for 110s. And from what I've heard, I think it's going to be like a jam format. And Matt McCall, he built a pretty gnarly 110 course at my spot. It's got like a big old rainbow rail, a bunch of big doubles, and a nice quarter pipe at the end. So it's going to be a good just freestyle jam contest, and we'll see. Pat's good at all the flips and flares and twists, so let's see what he can do on a 110.
Pat, are you going to put a flare down?
No, I mean, I have no idea. Maybe if I go out tomorrow and Axel gets an airbag out and I can try it, but I haven't rode a 110 in like 3 months, so we'll see how this thing feels.
I love it. And Pat, you're the only, to our knowledge, you're the only actual BMXer that's going to be competing in this event, correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to show these dirt bike riders what's up, I guess,
I like it, man. That one's going to be a good one. We're excited for that. Elliot, do you have any advice for Axel and Pat? Obviously, because you hosted that Highlands event. Was it earlier this year? Is it fun? Is it challenging because you're more concerned with like other things than just riding?
Yeah, definitely a little hectic to kind of balance, like, having all these people at your house and then like focus on actually skating or riding, whatever. But I don't know. We've done a few here over the years, so you just kind of learn how to just go with the flow, I guess, and let everybody else, do what they do and just focus on what you got to do.
Last summer would have been the 25th anniversary of X Games, which is, just still mind blowing to think about. And it's such a bummer that we didn't have the event. But in X Games 2021 really is sort of, right, with that gap year, if you will. I'd love to just kind of, as we wind things down here, just like go through for each of you, like a memory, whether it's an X Games memory of your own. Sky, I know yours is somewhat limited, or just a moment that you remember watching as a kid that like inspired you about X Games, whether it was your own, discipline that you compete in or something else. I know for me, like being at Staples Center, watching like Travis pull the double backflip is still to me like the holy grail moment of like the holy, like this is what this is all about, and that's still like, I still cling to that as like maybe the best live event I've ever seen. I'd just be curious for each of you. Elliot, maybe we'll start with you, like maybe your favorite X Games memory, winter or summer, over the last 25 years.
Sure. Yeah. I've said it before, man, like time and time again, like I kind of started skating, watching X Games and Tony do the 900. Like that moment for me, I was just like, I want to skate vert. Like that's what I'm going to do. So that was a pretty big moment for me there. And then, yeah, just I feel super fortunate to have skated in so many X Games at this point and, traveled all around the world. 2013 was an awesome year, dude. The four, like the global ones, that was super cool. I skated the last 2 years in the Staples Center, I think. That was pretty crazy. Yeah, it's been a lot of good memories over the years.
Yeah. How about for you, Pat? I know you from a very young age as well. You're like, this is what I want to do for my life. I want to ride my bike for a living. Was there an X Games moment, whether it be Dave Mira or Matt Hoffman or maybe even something else that kind of you saw as a kid that sort of inspired you to want to live this life?
Yeah, I would definitely say like Mira's double flip, like the debut of the double flip for sure. And then just, I don't know, X Games has just been super gnarly the entire time, watching like Pastrana's double flip, Tony Hawk's 900. It's just been like everything is just pushing the progression of sports. So it's, I don't know, there's a lot of memorable moments for me growing up for sure. And then,
how about you, Axel?
Me just riding, I guess.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Any medals or whatever I've got, those are definitely like memorable moments, I would say, and I don't know, just really cool.
Yeah. How about for you, Axel?
Yeah, I got plenty of X Games memories. When I was little, remember the first thing seen, we went to the Home Depot Center and Ronnie Feist did a 360 on a dirt bike and hit the cameraman with his back tire and like knocked him straight out. And that was the first 5 minutes of being at X Games. I was like, whoa, this is pretty gnarly. And then, yeah, just all Pastrana's, like ghost trying his bike into the leg, doing double backflips and all of his crazy tricks. TP7 and landing on his butt. He just kind of makes you not want to do freestyle motocross because it's so gnarly, but we just ended up doing it anyways. And yeah, first time lining up at X Games with Step Up. dislocated my shoulder, and I just remember being so bummed. I thought I'd be out for everything, and a couple of days later, I got silver and best whip, and that was pretty special. Just get a medal at X Games. From being so low in the first event to coming back and getting a medal was pretty sweet. And can't deny the quarter pipe gold medal of sitting out the first year, getting hurt, having to watch everyone, and coming back and getting that gold was really cool.
Yeah, man, for sure. And how about you, Sky? I mean, obviously watching you in 2019 was really special, but was there a particular event or contest that you remember watching on TV that like really stood out to you about X Games?
Honestly, all of them. Just watching all of them has really like inspired me to, do tricks and just being at the X Games was unreal. It was so cool. Like looking at the X Games mega ramp, looking at watching people going so high on the dirt bike, and it was such a cool time. I had so much fun, skating with friends and hanging out. It was I love X Games. It was really fun.
Awesome. Hey, well, I can't thank you guys enough. One last thing though, for each of you, obviously, again, will be a virtual expo, and you can find all that information out on xgames.com. But I do feel like the fact that X Games is still coming together and making this happen is really a testament to the X Games family and just how strong they are for helping to put this thing together. Even when we wondered, could we pull it off? And for Axel and Pat really answering the call and putting things together. I guess I just want to get one final check from each of you guys on like, no fans, but obviously we're still going to be on TV. We're still going to be live streaming everything. Just the importance of like getting back and putting on an event. Does it feel different as far as like how competitive it's going to feel versus just the community of coming together? I guess what I mean is like, how important is it for each of your respective communities, whether it be motocross, BMX, or skateboarding?
Damn it, keep cutting out.
Axel. Sorry, did you guys catch that?
Sorry, you're kind of cutting out, but
Yeah, you're cutting out.
I'm fired up. I think everyone just wants to go there and win. It's been a while, and we're ready to send it. It's gonna be fun. Pat's going to do a flare.
Pat's going to do a flare. I think that's how we got to end it, gang.
On my bike,
I think that's how we gotta end it.
We'll see about it. We'll set up,
Hey, thank you guys so much for everybody for in attendance. Sky Brown, Elliot Sloan, Axell Hodges, Pat Casey. Remember, you can catch everything going down July 14th through the 18th. ESPN, ABC, ESPN app, X Games social channels. If you got any other questions, head over to xgames.com. Thank you so much, athletes, for being a part of this, and we'll see you at X Games.
See you guys.
awesome. Thank you.
Later.
Peace.
Thank you.